Welcome to this edition of Each One Takes Session. Um, the whole purpose of this one is to harness the experience of the community. What we do is we bring in an alumnus presenter. So somebody's going to come in amongst us who is going to talk to us about something they have great experience, great expertise, insight, knowledge, idea that they can really, enrich us with. The whole purpose of it is to foster interactive learning, is to create awareness, and also to open doors of communication, either on the platform or outside of the platform. And the whole purpose of this is just to grow us and to really develop our minds, because we know that each presenter has something meaningful to teach us, and we have something valuable to learn from them. So Gbenga Osofisan is the presenter for tonight. Gbenga is somebody who is well read. He's got his BSc in computer science from University of Lagos. He's got his master's in data science from the United Kingdom, Sunderland University. And he's also gotten professional certifications in information technology, and also in, he's also got this in, okay, that comes back to me. I will get back to you. So he's got 25 years experience in information technology, and it's mainly focused on higher education and also in financial services. And he's done this in UK, in Canada, and also in Africa. He's gotten involved in a lot of projects, a lot of high-tech projects that has led to a lot of cutting-edge solutions. And also it participated in technology-based projects, which has also led to a lot of results and has brought a lot of business for the company, and has had a lot of transformative results. It's done this in companies like the FCMB, UBA, First Bank. It's done it also in NatWest and also Northumbria University. Aside from the professional side of things, Gbenga has also lent himself to the community because he's as a charity giver. He also believes in mentoring the young ones. A lot of these organizations, he has been part of the executive boards, and that's going very well for him. Gbenga is a family man, and he's also somebody who is married and is doing very well. Today's topic is a very interesting one, I find personally. I think it's a way that it's trying to show us how we can get life lessons from the Formula One. So we're using the Formula One as a template because he's such a fan of the Formula One event. And so he's trying to use that as a template to get a lot of life lessons. And I think when you hear from the different angles that is coming from, you would be able to appreciate. I mean, I got a lot from just a little bit of a summary that I asked him and that it gave me, which I'm sure it's going to give us a lot more from. So, yeah, to you.
All right, thanks, Alumni. That was an interesting introduction. So, good evening, everyone, and I'm sure we all know each other here. Pleasure of being here. So, just like Olumide said, I'm not talking technology today. We'll have expected that perhaps I will be talking technology. I think we've had a number of people talk technology. I'm talking sports today, and the sports is Formula One. Formula One motorsport. So I titled it Lessons from Formula One Motorsport. So I mean, this is a sport that I follow quite well, and I always try to take lessons. I mean, someone said that we learn every day, and that the day any man stops learning, that person stops growing, and if you stop growing, then it means you start dying. So I always try to take life lessons from different things. And so I put together this around Formula One sports. I don't know how many of us are fans of Formula One here.
I'm an aspiring fan, Gbenga.
So the first question I'm asking here is that, is Formula One an individual or team sport? It's very easy to get confused, about that sport, because you see the driver on the racetrack, and at the end of the race is the driver that comes on top of the podium. But the answer is that Formula One is actually a team sport. There are lots and lots of people involved in it. You have a whole load of people, from designers, engineers, the race strategists, drivers, lollipop man, tire changers, and all. I mean, a typical Formula One team, if you want to add this whole lot, we're talking about close to 1,000, because you have so many people behind the scene working to make sure that that driver that comes on the racetrack, is getting all the support he requires. And the first thing I would like to bring out in this is that in the race of life, really, God built the race to be done as part of a team. Englishman says no man is an island, and that's really true. In Africa, we say it takes a village to raise a child. So we have been configured by the Creator to be part of a community, to be part of a team, so to say. That's one of the first thing I would like to bring out. Now, the other thing is that one of the things that drawn me to Formula One is the fact that there's a lot of technology and innovation. So maybe that's where the technology part comes. There's a lot of technology that goes into making and designing those cars. The car is one of the most advanced tech. If you actually take a close look at it, the industry is quite huge. The cars are built with carbon fiber and other wonderful materials that makes them top of the range. And the engine is something else. Is something out of this world. You can imagine someone driving at an average of 222 miles per hour. That's the average speed of a Formula One driver on the racetrack. So you can imagine the kind of engine that delivers that kind of throughput. And the electronics is top notch. There is communication all around. Every single second of the race, there is high-tech comms going on between the driver, the pit stop, the race strategies. Everywhere there is connection. And one of the things that stands out that I want to bring a big lesson out is the fact that Formula One allows a lot of creativity, a lot of innovation. Every Formula One car that we see on the race, I started with showing a picture of one of them on the race, is actually built with all manner of improvement to give that driver the edge. And what lesson is there to learn for us in that? That's that in life, we need to be open to continuous improvement. We cannot say, I know it all. You must be willing and always ready to learn and to improve yourself. It's not too late. Nobody should say, oh, is it over 50? I'll start learning new things. No. Continuous improvement is one of the secrets of success in life. And that is something that Formula One teaches a lot. Every year, there is an improvement in every car on the racetrack. They are looking at how they can bring in something different from the other party that will make us, edge in the race. So that's what Formula One does for you. You need to learn to continuously improve. You don't sit and say, well, I have arrived. No. No matter how far in life one has gone, one should know that there is always a room for improvement. There is opportunity for us to learn something new, to improve our lives. And that is one thing you can learn so much from Formula One. And on the screen here, I'm talking a bit about the team. The Formula One team is a very, very coordinated team. The coordination between the team can determine winning or losing. And we will come to see that, And the goal of the team is that they want to win races and championships. The same way in life, you must have your life goal. What is my life goal? What is your life goal? It's not just for us to just be, are we just here to just live and just, anything goes? No. You must have a goal, a focus. This is what I want to achieve in life. This is what I want to achieve with my life. That is one thing every Formula One team is focused on. Every year, there is a goal. We want to win the driver's race or the constructor's race. Formula One is divided into two in terms of championship. So there's the driver championship and there's the constructor, those that built those powerful engines called cars. So at the end of the year, there are 24 races during the year. Every year, 24 races in different countries, different places. And at the end of the year, there is the driver that has the highest points wins the championship, and the constructor, the builder of the machine, the car that has the highest points wins the constructor championship. So that's the way it is. So the people behind the design, development, of Formula One are really the main people, not the driver that we see on the podium. Now, a little bit about the driver. Now, the driver of a Formula One car, is to become a driver takes a lot. You have to be very, very fit, both in body and in mind. And for you to even qualify to be a Formula One driver, there's a series of steps you have to follow. Time will not permit me to run through that, but you must, run through a number of serious steps that you must, gradually, before you enter the league of Formula One driver. At the end of the day, it's only 20 drivers that make up the Formula One. Can I imagine thousands? And what is that telling us in life? In life, we need to also prepare ourselves. We must prepare ourselves both in body and in mind. We must make sure that we take care of our physical health, just like Formula One drivers do. And also our mental health, we must take care of our mental health also. And of course, our spiritual well-being is also very important. So as a Formula One driver, you must dedicate time to train your body, dedicate time to train your mind, and be in the best shape possible. Now, one of the things that is unique about Formula One is that when they are in that car and they are racing, they are actually experiencing, gravitational force of up to 6G. That's something. I think the closest to that is probably an airplane that is trying to take off. So you cannot imagine someone crammed in that small car experiencing that. You must have strong physical and mental capability. And the same thing, you can draw an analogy in that in life, we have several forces that come against us in life, several forces, and in our 50 years plus in this race, I'm sure a lot of us have faced several forces in different aspects of our journey. But how we prepare ourselves will determine how we respond to those forces. The difference between a winner and a loser in Formula One most often depends on how mentally prepared, physically ready the driver is. Because the race is such that it's not just some cars running around the circle. No, there's a lot of technique, there's a lot of thinking that goes into how you start the race, how you run the race, how you finish the race. So many things go into it, and the driver must prepare himself for that. So in life, we must prepare ourselves. We must be ready. There will be forces that will work against us. Life is not all bed of roses. And that is what a Formula One driver knows, that get on that race, it is the extent of how prepared I am physically, mentally, that will determine how far I can go, because they try to outdo themselves, in the race. And one last thing is that after every race, every race, as I said, there's a lot of technology. Every second of the race is actually being recorded, being transmitted into all manner of data points. And at the end of the race, there's detailed analysis. The driver and the team, they sit down and analyze the race to see, hey, what did we do wrong? Where can we improve? What can we do better? The same thing in life, we must have time that we are assessing our journey. We are assessing our race. How am I doing in this race? Have I made any mistakes? How can I recover from that mistake? What can I do differently in the next race? In the next opportunity? When the next challenge comes, what can I do differently? We need to have time to do those self-evaluation, that analysis. For those of us that are married, perhaps with your husband, with your family, you sit down, let's assess this relationship. The relationship is a kind of a race. Is it amongst, ourselves as, fellow students? We assess, okay, how is our union, our association, how are we doing? I'm sure the ESCO, they meet from time to time and assess how things are going and how can we improve, how this association, how this friendship, how this community can improve. So the same thing in life, always analyzing and assessing how we are doing as individuals, as family, as a community that we are, is very important so that we can improve. Someone said the biggest room is a room for improvement. So Formula One is a race that is hinged on so much improvement. When a race is ended, the planning and getting ready for the next race starts immediately. That is something about Formula One that we can learn. Now, there is an interesting picture here. It's an aerial picture of a pit stop. I will explain more what a pit stop is, but I want you to just notice that you have several people, almost about 22 or so people, surrounding just one person. Just one person that is seated in that car in the middle is surrounded by all these other people. And what are they doing? They are doing something for that one person. Just for that one person. I want you to have this picture at the back of your mind. Picture yourself as that one person in the car, and perhaps this ISL family surrounding you. Picture yourself as that person in the car, or your teammate at your workplace surrounding you. Or picture yourself in the middle of that car, sitting in that car with your family surrounding you. That is what a pit stop is all about. I will play a short video before I go to explain that picture. Now, this is the side view of that picture we are seeing above. Now, you can see that that driver entered into a stop. In Formula One, it's called a pit stop. I will explain a little bit further. And every person is doing one thing or the other to fix something in that car. That is what is happening here at record speed. How well this pit stop goes for that driver can make or mar his race. If they didn't do this perfectly, you can see this was in a matter of seconds. 4 tires have been changed, dents and cracks has been fixed, and boom, the guy is back into the race. Now, this is a pit stop. That's what it's called, a pit stop in Formula One. And every driver must do at least one pit stop in a race. And the drivers have thought I can do this without, they always fail. Because this is, a classical example of teamwork. The pit stop, and that's one of the most exciting parts of Formula One for me. How You can have people waiting for you. Now, when the driver is running, in Formula One, they use 3 sets of tires. I won't go into details. Based on there's soft tire, there's middle one, there's hard one, and based on the condition of the track and the positioning in the race, a driver can require to change tires. Or if there's any fault is observed, based on the electronics, you can call for a pit stop to get it fixed. Now, so there's a race strategist that is collaborating all these things, is engaging the driver. Based on the electronics, they are seeing the tire pressure, they are seeing everything happening in the car on the track, and they're able to say, hey, young man, we're noticing this. What are you feeling? How are you feeling on the so there's a lot of communication. So what is this telling us? That in life generally, we always will need a pit stop. Life is not a bed of roses. That is the reality. Things happen to us in life. We face challenges. We have situation and circumstance that require us to just slow down. That race that is going at over 200 miles per hour, you will just have to what? Slow down. Put a pause. And let some people, fix things in you. Let some people minister to you. And I want to use this pit stop to be like an example of ISL. As I said in that picture, it's like each one of us, when we experience our pit stop in life, do we have people around us? Can the ISL family be like that pit stop team? There's a race strategist that is collaborating and engaging the driver. There is the lollipop man. In fact, for me, that's very important. It's the one that guides the driver into the pit and out of the pit to ensure that it's not going and hitting another person. Then you have the stabilizers that ensure that during that pit stop, the car is stable. They hold it and make sure that as they are changing the tires, you have that. Then you have the jack operators. In harmony, they have to jack the car up at the same time. Then you have the tire changers. They have to now, one tire is changed by 3 people. And you have the wingman. You have the starter man, that is also the one that will say, okay, let the hinges kickstart and move on. And you have the fire extinguishers. In case anything happens, they are ready with extinguisher to what? Douse the fire. So in our ISL family, who is the race strategist? Do we have a race strategist, someone that is, good in collaborating and making things happen, communicating with everyone? Is it the lollipop man, the tire changers? So every bit of thing that we do to one another is contributing to that pit stop. Some of us have been bereaved. That's a pit stop. Are we there for those of our friends and colleagues in ISL when they have a downtime, either in their career, either in their family experiences, or whatever? Are we there for them? Or even the pit stop could be a time for celebration also. So when, someone is celebrating, are we there for the person? Those greetings, those calls, that showing up is sort of a form of that driver getting support in a pit stop. That person getting support in a pit stop. That driver is so strapped into that car that, for him to come out, it will take a lot. But he has to just be in that position for that time, and others are surrounding him to meet his need. So the same way, I want to see an ISL class of 88 in which, we are like those people that surround one another. When one person has a stop, anything could be that pit stop. We should all be there for the person, encouraging, sharing, consoling, providing for whatever is that need. Let that one person be able to say, yes, I have a family that I know will surround me. That's one of the critical things I want us to take out of this session, this learning from Formula One. The pit stop is an highlight for me, and how fast, how good the pit stop happens determines a lot in Formula One race. It determines a lot. So pit stop, the strategy is done far ahead. So it's not as if it just happened haphazardly in Formula One. And what am I trying to bring out here? We also need to plan our race. We need to have, just like I said initially, a goal. We need to have a vision for the race of life and also have clear-cut plan of how do we want to execute this race of life. What are the things we want to do at what point? It is planning. So one of the things that happen very well in Formula One is excellent planning. There's a lot of planning ahead in terms of how the race will go, what do we do during the race, and what do we do after the race. And this strategy, every member of the team knows about it. It is honed by everyone. And the same way too, as a community in ISL, it's important that we understand what the plan and what the vision is for the group. I'm sure the ESCO are doing a very good job around this. And we all need to be part of that. We need to own it. It's not just a job for the ESCOs. No. Every member of the team should own that goal. We should own that vision. That mission, it should be a joint one. It's not something for one man or for one set of people. It's for the entire team. And another thing about the pit strategy for pit stop is that, it's dynamic. It's dynamic. There's no one formula to say that's what will happen, that's how it will happen. We generally know that, yes, we need to provide support to this man whenever he comes into this pit. But how we do it can differ depending on the nature of the race. Is it the tire that needed more focus at that point? Or is the bumper of the vehicle or a fender in front or something else, or even the steering? But what is important is having that agility and dynamism. In the race of life is a skill that we must all have. We must be agile. We must have agility to be able to respond to situations, because life will not go, all the time. You can plan, you can do all the planning, which is good, which is important. But things might not go as planned. How do you respond? How do you react? You must be agile. You must have that dynamism to say, wow, this is happening now. How do I ensure that I handle it and move ahead? And another thing that happens a lot in Formula One is trust. How do we handle trust among ourselves? The driver must trust the race strategies. The lollipop man must trust the driver. The lollipop man is the man that stands, in fact, I will show you some video as we round up, is the man that stands in front when the car is coming into the pit stop. That person, a car is coming at about 120 kilometers per hour, and you have the confidence to stand in front of that car, that driver will stop and will not throw you off. That is trust. Everyone trusts. There's a strong element of trust in Formula One. How do we handle trust among ourselves? Do we trust one another? Is there trust? Can I pour out my heart to anyone and not think, oh, what I'm telling Olumide, the whole world is going to know? Sorry, Olumide, for mentioning your name. I'm just using that as illustration. So trust is very important. Trust is very important. And another thing which I've mentioned is that there's a lot of preparation and practicing that goes into that, how we work together to service that one man when he comes into the pit. A lot of planning, a lot of practicing over and over and over again, practicing to ensure that the maneuver is perfected, such that once that pit stop happens, we all know what we need to do to help and support that person. And, there is a lot of discipline that goes into it. A lot of discipline. Everybody is committed to their own part. The lollipop man knows what he has to do. The carjackers, they know what they need to do. The tire changers, they know what they need to do. So everybody is focused. Everybody is committed to their part. The same way I would want to see our ISL family, in which every one of us, there is that commitment. Commitment to, I see Oyi, I think it was Oyi that is the one talking about reminding us about dues and things like that. Let's commit ourselves to it. Let's commit ourselves to it. So that's one thing that is important. Every person knows what they need to do, how they need to do, and when they need to have. So the same way, we need to have that synergy in the ISL family, in this community, in this team that we are. We are a team. We are a team supporting one another in our individual race of life. So we must know how, when, and what to do for each one of us. And that's why I love this Each One Teach One series, that we have been doing it. It's so fantastic. So in Formula One, there are really no individuals.
Right.
It's the team. There is no individual. It is the team. Each person has a responsibility to the team. Even though the driver is the one at the end of the day that will stand on the podium, the real deal is that it's a teamwork. Everybody is dedicated to execution. The same way too, I will want to see an ISL family in which every one of us, we are dedicated to executing whatever we agree we want to do. Once the go together and say, okay, as a family, as a team, we want to do this, everyone should have their hands on board. We should show commitment in executing. It's one thing to plan. It's a different ballgame to execute. One of the biggest problems, in the part of the world we come from, is execution. We have these lofty plans, but when it's time to execute, everybody's drawing back. We all roll up our sleeves and say, yeah, let's do it together. That is what is important for us to learn from, Formula One. You have 20 people, you're still talking about the pit stop, in a perfect choreography, crowding over a very small car. That's one person collaborating, ensuring that we don't have conflict, no collision, no conflict. Everybody is doing what they need to do to ensure that that person that is in need at that time, at that moment, is all about that person inside that car. No issue, no argument, no discord. Let's focus on supporting this one person. That is one of the highlights of Formula One. And that's one of the things that actually differentiate finishing on the podium or finishing last in the race. And interestingly, I was telling Olumide, today is a very big day in Formula One. The 2024 season in Formula One was decided today, in Las Vegas, very close to the Jude, Las Vegas, That was I think that was the 22nd race. Every year there are 24 races. So the 22nd one happened today in Las Vegas. And the championship was determined today. Max Verstappen won the Formula One championship. This was someone that, his first race was at age 17. I mean, he was the youngest ever to win a Formula One race. His journey to Formula One is an interesting one. Time will not permit me to share that. But that race happened today in the US in Las Vegas. He didn't come first in today's race, but he won the championship. That's another lesson for me. The things he had done in the past, showed forth for him today to win the championship. He came fifth today, but he won the championship for 2024. So the same thing in the race of life, it's not always about what happens today. What happens today is important. He needed to keep a particular position ahead of, I think, Norris, so that he wins the championship. And that was all. He was not interested in coming first. It was just to make sure that position that I need to be in to win this championship, I stayed there. But that was possible because he has done some things in the past. What are the things that we have done in the past that will speak for us today as individuals and as a team too? So it's not always just about today. Today is important, but the things that we have done in the past, the sacrifice, the discipline, the effort that we have put in the past can determine and differentiate today and the future. And that's what happened for Max today. Because, in the past 20 races, he has stretched himself. I think he's won either 7 or 8 of all the races in 2024. And he just needed that position ahead of Norris to make sure that he strikes the gold. He got victory in Las Vegas today. And that's the young man that if you see my backdrop, that's him, Max. And very interesting, when he was interviewed. Okay, the first thing, usually when they are in the car, as I said, you can hear what they are saying, you can communicate. So immediately he was declared the winner of the 2024 Formula One championship. He was radioed in his car. And this was the first part. It was his comment. He was still in the car, he was just slowing down, winding down his race, and he was being engaged at, Max, you have made it. You have become the champion of Formula One for 2024. Your 4th consecutive win has just happened. You are the 5th man in history to win 4 consecutive Formula One. Hear what the young man said. Very interesting. He said, "Oh my God, what a season. 4 times. Thank you, guys. Thank you to everyone. It was a little bit more difficult than last year, but we pulled through and we gave it our all. I never thought it was possible, but thanks to you guys, it is. So thanks again." Can you see someone that is sold out to his team? There was no iota of self-glorification in his very first comment, achieving one of the things only 5 other men has achieved in Formula One history. But he attributed all to his team. So the same way too, how much of acknowledgement do I give to the team also? How much of acknowledgement do we give to the support that the ISL, no matter how little or how huge it is, how much do we acknowledge that team effort? When someone is having a birthday, everybody's greeting you, how much do you genuinely appreciate it? You're having something, and people say, okay, let's pull together and support the person. No matter how small, no matter how big, how much of appreciation do we have for the collective of ISL? You know, Max Verstappen is an example of that. He just won the championship, and the first thing that came out of his mouth was appreciating his team. And after he now settled down, he came out of the car and, he was now interviewed. That was the next thing he said. If you read that also, there was no single pointing to himself, but talking about what it's been a long season, and of course, we started off amazing. Not I. It was almost like cruising, but then we had a tough run. In this season, he had a very tough run. Last season was like smooth run. It was just a clean sweep, but this season was rough and terrible for him before he could win. But what was he saying? He was talking about the team. He said, but as a team, we kept it together. We kept it together. We kept working on improvements, and we pulled off the win as a team. Can we say that of this team ISL class of 88? Can we say that, yes, we pulled off together? Can we say that, yes, we worked together to achieve this win? This is one man that is being given all the accolade. He is the champion of 2024, but he's saying, I didn't do it alone. I had my team. Can each and every one of us also be able to say, whatever in this 50+ year journey, and we've known, ourselves now for well over 30 years, can we look back to be able to say the contribution of this team in our journeys? I'm sure if you truly search deeply, there will be. No matter how small, no matter how big, there has been. And that is a true team player. Max is a true champion that acknowledges that he cannot do it alone. And he said what? He was incredibly proud of everyone. That is what we should be as a team in ISL. We should be proud of every one of us. When one of us is celebrating, let's all celebrate. When one of us is down in the pit, let's all surround the person and provide the support. Is it prayers? It could be financial. It could be just a phone call. It could just be a message. No matter how little or how big, let us pull together. I love what he said. Let us what? Pull together to pull off that win. So that, all of us will be proud. That's one lesson again from Max today after he won the race. He never ever took the glory to himself alone. Even though the driver is very important in the race of life, of course, you and I, we are critical. But as I said, we have been designed to work as a team, either as a team in a family, as a team in society, in communities. That's how God has designed us. But we must, of course, do our part. Max definitely did his part today. But he knew that no matter how much of his part, I think he did about 2 or 3 pit stops. If the team messed up those pit stops, he couldn't have made the championship today. So that's really, because of time, where I want to round it up. That one person said that no one can whistle a symphony. It takes a whole orchestra to play. And the same way too, I want to see the ISL class of 88 as a symphony, as an orchestra that is working together, to play a symphony. We are collaborating together, we are engaging together, we are communicating together to what? Achieve a goal. So that's really the lessons, the few lessons. Time will not permit that we'll go into more details, but just a few lessons that we can learn, as a team that we are. We are a team, we are a community here. And I believe that we should, just like Formula One Motorsport teaches us, learn some of these things to use in our individual lives as the driver of our race, and collectively as a team when there is need for a pit stop. I have some parting videos here before we take questions and round up of why pit stops are very important. And some are quite funny.
Within Jos Verstappen makes his first scheduled pit stop, and things go dramatically wrong. Somehow,
Can you see that?
No one is critically injured,
disastrous.
freeing himself from the car.
The mechanic's been flattened by his driver, Kazuki Nakajima, making his first ever Formula One pit stop. I'm delighted to say he looks like he's okay, but he's going to need a...
Hay algún movimiento más en la zona de...
Fuego,
Minardi.
Minardi.
Llamaría a Brunner, que está dentro.
Vamos a ver, ha sacado el volante, vamos a ver si el piloto sale.
No, van a repostar otra vez.
Can you see the lollipop now being thrown?
Attention, voilà. Oh, ça c'est dommage pour Jenson.
Ah, le gun, ah oui. Le gun marche. Just to show that, the pit stop that happens so perfectly and so well, compared to some of the ones that you saw with even fire happening and what have you, is the level of practice and preparation that makes the difference. That's just basically, what those set of videos were showing. We saw the first one that ran so smoothly, so perfectly. But we saw so many other ones, that didn't run so good. It's just a function of, how much
of preparation that has gone into that. So that's all from me. I hope it's been useful, and I hope we can pick one or two things for us as individuals and collectively as a team that we are in the ISL class of 88. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gbenga. That was really eye-opening, and it was very interesting to see all the, those occupational hazards that you talked about if we didn't have that stuff. So yeah, it's quite live and quite like in your face, real. So yeah, that's quite interesting. I don't know if anyone has any questions to throw to ask Gbenga. Or AG, do you have any question or any comment?
No questions. I was just wondering to myself how excellent this is, that for a very cheap price of no cost, I get to sit with a Formula One enthusiast and just learn easily about, now I know what a lollipop man is, right? And how it's a dangerous job. That I think this is part of the richness of this community, is that we have people that know a lot of different things that we don't know, and just by sitting at their feet for a few hours, we can really grab something novel. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi, Judith. Okay.
Hi, Gbenga, that was brilliant. It got me thinking about a lot of stuff. And I just have a question. It might not be a question for us here, but I think it's a question that we all ask ourselves, because I look at the participants here and it's the same set of people most of the time. And you talk about Formula One, and it's because there's teamwork. Everybody has that desire. How do we get our teammates, our classmates together? It's a challenge that we've had over the years. Gbenga, you experienced it when you were in the working group. I experienced it. The current working group is experiencing it too. So what is it we can do to engage people more? Because like I said, it's the same set of people that are here. How do we spread that word? How? It's something that has baffled me. I keep asking everybody I speak to, or I have the opportunity to speak to, what is it that we can do? Because your dream, I'm sure, is the dream of everybody here right now. But I'm just wondering how we can really achieve it. Thank you.
Thanks, Judith.
Yeah, I think that's something that we can hold debate and discuss, really. Yeah, anyone want to take a shot at that?
Hello, this is Oyinda. Judith, thanks for posing that question. Sorry, guys, I'm actually in transit mode, so if you hear any noise above me, just a second. So anyway, as Judith was saying, I think we're all thinking about that, and I've actually thought about that, for some time. And even based on what the presentation Gbenga gave today, I want to thank you for your talk, because it's kind of like that saying in Yoruba that "Eyan lasho," like we need ourselves. And it's not like it's so easy for everybody or anyone, but at the end of the day, it's about sacrifice. We all need to sacrifice for each other, even when things are not as easy to do so. So I think the sacrifice is one part of it. And to Judith's point, what I thought of was, do we just start calling people individually and engage them on an individual basis, as opposed to waiting for them to, chime in or contribute on the group chat, depending on what message we send in? Because people will give 1,000,001 reasons, and I think I've given people reasons like, oh, people are busy, people are in different stages in their lives, blah blah blah. But it all takes the effort. And for me, in terms of engaging, I think it's maybe a one-on-one reaching out. I mean, that has worked to some extent, but isn't working. But then at the same time, it's like, it's going to have to be a continuous process. It's either we all want it or we all don't want it. And people have to kind of make that choice. And maybe some people have already told us that in their own actions or inactions, and maybe there's a part of that we have to accept, but then we just keep on pushing forward. I mean, I don't know if what I said helps or not.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Dayo.
Yeah, can I make a comment with what Oyinda and Judith just talked about now, which is of great concern to, well, I think most people, or at least those of us that are here. What I see as the problem, and it was what Oyinda said that juggled me into saying this just now, I think it's the fact that some of us, or I don't know if I should use I should say some of us, some people feel that it's some set of people that are running a club, if I can use that phrase. So when I talk to people, it's like some people don't see it as a team. Some people see it as, oh, and they do you know, I don't know how to put it in English. It's like this group is them, they are doing this, they are doing that. I don't like the way they are there. Who are they? And every time I say it, when I have the opportunity to talk to people that give me this kind of feedback, I cannot say that, oh, they are doing click, they are doing this, they are neglecting some people. This is a team. So that mindset, as far as I'm concerned, is the issue. As long as we see us as, oh, it's like a club, it's like an association that, oh, see them, see us. As long as that is there, I don't know how many phone calls that we are going to make. We've made phone calls, we've done all sorts. I've had the privilege to be part of working groups for a long time. So is that mindset that should change. People should stop seeing this thing as they don't so they are leaving us out of it. So because of that, I'm leaving the group. So people have left the group. And I tell them, I'm like, okay, when you exited this group now, are you going to go and join QC? Or you're going to go and join Ijaniki? Which group are you going to join? You don't have anywhere else to go. This is like home. This is like, it's like having a family group chat. Fajebe family group chat, and I exit. Am I going to go and join Osofisan's group chat? So it's a mindset that needs to be changed. People should stop seeing it as some people are the ones running this thing, and so they are not favoring us. They are doing what they want. Is how to solve that mindset that is the issue. That's the way that's my own observation. I don't know what kind of phone call, I don't know what we want to say on that phone call that has not been said in years. I don't know. Thank you.
Sorry, guys. Can I just jump in very quickly because I'm in the middle of the thing and I've heard everybody and I think everybody is right. Like Dayo just said, I think there are some people who think that still clicks and everything. And I'm sure those of you who are in the coordinators team are present. Let me say it so many times. I don't think we need to be running after people anymore. We're grown-up adults. Most of us are over 50. We've lived half a century. The amount of time, which is the matter, the amount of time we have left, just about equal or even less than what we've already spent on this. And to be running after adults to do things, I've said so many times that look, if it's just 10 people who are doing, let the 10 people continue to do it well. Whenever anybody else wants to join, welcome them with open arms. You can't keep forcing people. We've called, we've done text, done email, and it seems like they're trying to force things on people. And you also have I believe that there are some people who believe in the clicks that didn't move with this person in school. I wasn't close to and like, I mean, for goodness sake, how old are we now that we're going to be doing all of that? So I just feel personally, I feel those who are doing it, just well done and kudos to everybody behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, in between, and all of that who have been doing, and those who have been attending. Thank you to everybody. Let's just continue with what we have. If it's 2 people, 10 people, work with that. When something good comes out of it, like I said, at the end of the day, it's for everybody. Welcome them with open hands. You look at them with an animosity. But I just think at this stage, how long have we been? And we have to start teaching people now. Nobody can say they don't know what all the different things we're doing is. I mean, even just forget even each one, just to have fun amongst ourselves. It's a struggle to get people to do things. And it's very sad that it has to be. I'm sad that it's unfortunate that I have to say this, but it's not until when there's a demise amongst us or between somebody in somebody's family we now have to start running around, or when there's something wrong. If we can do that when there's something wrong, and we do well doing that as well, why can't we just do the things that would build each and every one of us up as well? That's just the way I see it. If people, we can't keep forcing people not to do what they don't want to do. That's just my take.
Does anyone else have anything? Well, it's not too much.
You're welcome.
I want to say a few things. Yeah. I feel like there is an unspoken division.
Sorry, now Olumide, wait, let me say something. You guys are doing a good job. You have called me more than 4 or 5 times trying to have a chat with me. And if only you know what I've been going through and where I've been outside, and was it barely an hour ago? I told you I was on transit. Please, you're doing a good job. Why are you discouraged? I was part of the people on the fence many years ago. But I'm trying to be active, even though I'm very occupied at the moment. But you have done a good job. A very good job. I have so many calls waiting for. Pastor in UK has been there for me. I used to come down there and he's always there. Even when I'm in the hotel, we have a way of, the day Sheriff was going to be out there, he told me he had a COVID and he has been there every day on that page. So why are you discouraged? We're doing it individually and collectively. It's a teamwork. Please don't give up. Many people are in their shell. They're going through one thing or the other. Deji, I've been trying to reach out to you, not because I want to reach out to you. I have some things I do during summer at your side. I remember when you told me you were driving down and then you were on a journey. I was wondering where you were. Were you at Dallas? You never know where, if I was in Texas. You don't understand. You just told me I should join the team. You people have done a good job. Olumide, we met in Lagos by accident. And you kept me going. How much more, Bro Guki? I was in his in his program for about, was it 2 or 3 months? I was learning a skill during my manual leave. And today we communicate virtually almost every now and then. And those words he keeps sending on his WhatsApp profile are very encouraging. So please don't think you're not affecting life. And please don't think people are not listening on the other man. Just that everybody's going through their own. And we need one another. So if I am a testimony, why don't you keep up the good work? Oyinda, I was at your dad's burial, but you're always asking for dues. These are things you keep ringing into our ears. And it doesn't mean that because we don't want to pay. You understand? But we love you and we appreciate all your past, present, and the future effort you have doing. Keep up the good job. And please stop complaining because people are going through a lot. And you are doing a good job, a great one. I don't really want to talk, but if I tell you how Deji and Olumide has been encouraging, how about the pastor, how about Goki? Even Shade and I were friends, and we used to party out a lot. Please, keep up the good job. Don't think because we're old, we don't know what you are doing. You're affecting our lives, and we appreciate. I am speaking from the bottom of my heart, and I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of many people that are not there. What you put up today, do you know that I'm using it for other members of my family? Not to talk of the nuclear and the extended, and even all the other extended family, that we all must work at it as a team together. And nobody takes the glory. That's one thing I want to tell you, which you are people are doing. And we will acknowledge the fact that you are doing it, not only now, even presently. And in the future, you have been doing very, very well, that I'm sure that the future is bright. I remember for Sadiku, I went for one of her programs. She had one of those church, and all because we had a get together at her place. And Oshofisan was there, the sister. And I and her, we meeting from time to time. We do communicate. Please don't get discouraged. That's all I just want to say. And thanks, Olumide. You're my pal. Okay. Daily communication. How much more my pastor? I found out when I was in UK that pastor was my brother's pastor, provisional pastor. Do you see how life is like? And my brother will keep respecting him and bowing down. My pastor, my somebody that is over 10 years older than me is bound down to my classmate and they communicate now. So please keep up the good job. I'm only revealing a little of myself to tell you that I appreciate all of you. We had a hangout with what do you call it? Staff school, barely less than a year ago. And many of us are ISL members. Can't we have something like that? And people turned out. That's where I want to tell you. When we had the staff school reunion for 40th anniversary, you understand? Please, we are all doing a good. And don't forget, some of us have siblings that are in other age group. I have one of my sister that is finished from ISL, and she's in US presently, and she communicates with Shade's sister, and they are best of friends. And I remember when I was in Canada, I told Shade, and I was even communicating with Shade's sister. That is how life is all about. Please don't give up. We even communicate with our siblings just because of the few WhatsApp encouragements and the few times we've met together, we've had our hands up. And other members of our families are also affected too. So please, for their burials, you don't have to be their friends. You don't have to be in the clique. Just be there. If they're having birthday parties, very good. I enjoy those messages you sent on my birthday. Should I continue? Sorry, I have to answer a call. My husband is reminding me I have a call. I do appreciate you all, and God bless you. Don't give up. We're a team. We're working together. Thanks, spouse.
Thank you, Jumoke.
I'll just quickly say, yeah, that I think Jumoke has said quite a lot of poignant, like very important points there, where everybody has said it kind of like in their own varied ways. That important. Wale said that we can only keep going. We can only carry on going. Onyida talked about perhaps Onyida and Dayo talked about perhaps we should still keep reaching out. I really think that all of these ideas, coupled with this whole topic that we're dealing with that Gbenga has brought on, is a very, very big topic. And I think that's what has gingered even Judith starting this conversation at all. And the fact that this topic is so powerful, it seems like a very somebody who just loves, who's just passionate about, F1 Formula One sport. It kind of seems like that, but when you look at it from a bigger, from a bigger lens, it's so powerful, it's so philosophical, and Gbenga has nicely described everything, put everything together to make it very visual and very meaningful. I just feel like it's such a very important, it's nothing to do with his career, it's nothing to do with his hobby, but from that hobby, it's taken a lot out. Coming together, I mean, it's just quite like this. United and divided before. If we come together and we do things together, things will happen. Jumoke also said that it's not about you being best friends with somebody. If you form friendships now in your later years now, it can only be for good. If you want to maintain the other friendships you've had in the past, you have every right to do so because these are the people that you kind of have a similar personality with. But it's all about just doing things as a unit. And it kind of goes back to the Onida thing about so talking to them, asking questions like, why, is there any reason why this? I remember Dio saying in a couple of meetings ago that I think it was Kenny Gulaya that had something doing, I might be wrong, and some people didn't turn up. I think that's enough to make somebody feel sort of like less than, or maybe not less than, because I can't know what her feelings are, but she was quite pleased that some people didn't turn up. I suppose she gave some invites, people didn't turn up, or some people just didn't show up for her, which we're trying to sort of improve. And I think we can only just keep trying and try and be very intentional and just talk to people more. But I think Judith also, I had a conversation with her one time where we were talking about, or maybe it was the time that we were dealing with raising funds for Funke. We were all on the Zoom. It was pretty much the same crowd. And we were talking about picking people that because I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. I mean, the way I did it, I picked the people that, I picked some people that I feel like I'll have easier access to, but I also picked people that I hadn't spoken to before. And I think that's the way we eventually did. You worked it out for us, just sort of like it was a way of us reaching out to people. And I think we can just improve on it and just keep going. And I think, like Jumoke has said, everybody is appreciating it. I feel so. And Jumoke is, I won't say an outsider listening in. She's also part of the family, and she's saying it. She's saying it with a lot of passion. Gbenga said it as well, and clearly everybody appreciates it. Otherwise, they won't be coming. So I just feel like we should just doing what we're doing, and things will turn around. And if people don't come in as much, we don't get the numbers in. I feel like people are appreciating it. I feel like we should just keep doing what we're doing. So thank you all, guys. Yeah. I don't know if anyone else has something. Kemi, I don't know if you have Kemi, you have anything you want to. Lovely to have you here today.
Hello, Olumide. Can I just jump in again? This is Oinda.
Go on, Oinda.
Yes. So first of all, let me say a big thank you to Jumoke for opening up and giving us her insight. I think for me personally, that's very valuable. And one of my takeaway as we've been having this conversation, even at this point, is, maybe we don't even have insight into each other. Maybe that's why we feel isolated or that people are not participating. Okay, so one takeaway from me is also just understanding or trying to understand other people's perspectives, because that drives, some of the change that we're looking for. And I think the second one, in terms of getting, still trying to reach out to everybody, I look at it like, okay, we're an ISL family. And in a family, when we all want to be together, reaching out is a way of never giving up. You still want them to be part of it. And from time to time, we still reach out. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's going to be tough, but in a family, you don't leave each other. So there's that element of still trying to connect and get everybody involved one way or the other. And I think the other last point I want to make is just, at the end of the day, yes, we all have a responsibility to each other as far as the ISL class of 88 community. We're always going to have the, yes, okay, there's one element of, we're all adults, we're all, everyone's in different phases in their lives, but I still want to drive the sacrifice in being part of something. And when I say sacrifice, sometimes not everything is going to be easy when you have to get something done. Even as far as, and, based on even what Jumoke said, sometimes the contribution is not necessarily money. Sometimes the contribution is just calling. Sometimes the contribution is just showing up for each other. So all those things matter. And I think, to Gbenga's point, part of his presentation, when you're working as a team, there are different elements that have different functions, different perspectives, different input. And yes, maybe we're winning just having this conversation and just opening up to each other. So I personally don't want to see it as a setback or get frustrated. I use my example, I'm the first of 6. So I'm used to, different people are going to have different opinions or want to do something or not do something at a particular point in time because of whatever else is going on with them. But I think at the end of the day is Kamafira, our Sile, that we still reach out. That reach out element is important, and it seems like it's going to go on forever. I mean, like what Dio has said, they've been doing it for a while, but I still think, we need to reach out, and maybe we just need to find a better way or better forum. Maybe that's the challenge. Find a better way to engage, find a better, maybe an opportunity or a function or something, or find ambassadors that can act on our behalf, who have all these close relationships with other people we're trying to pull in. And maybe the challenge for us is also to meet up with those people, have them talk and have them help us. Maybe we're trying to do all this by ourselves. And maybe the point is maybe reaching out to our other classmates, opening up to them and asking them for the help. So asking for help is also a thing. And that's all I have to say for now. Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, I don't know if anyone else has anything else to say. I think Gbenga was going to leave at 7:30 time. I don't know if that's already. I don't know if anyone else.
Yeah, I'm still on. I'm still on.
Do you have anything else to round us up with, Gbenga? There's Neka on the line as well as Kemi. If you guys want to say anything, and Damien. Yeah. No. Okay. Deji,
No, I'm not doing anything. Everybody, good evening. I logged in late, so I'm just listening to the comments. Well done, Deji and the crew. Good job. Keep it up. Don't worry. We'll be with you.
Well, I would imagine that was the case for me personally, anyway. So I do appreciate it. It's nice to also hear it, and thank you for being here. Hopefully, we'll see more of you. And Kemi, I don't know. Do you want to go, Damien? Do you have anything?
No, everybody has spoken well. Something that has always worked for me is to just try and focus on doing my own part and moving on and not overthinking. Of course, one has to think, is there something I can do better? Just exactly the same point that Gbenga said, what can we do better? One thing that seems to have worked is to keep offering different types of content, right? Rich content that is helpful in different ways. This is growing. This is maybe the most people we've had on one call, almost. So I think that we are making progress, even if it's slowly. But we'll keep, doing the good things we're doing and trying to figure out the not so good things we're doing so that we can improve on them. And the team is super wonderful. Thank you so much. Olumide anchors this thing and is never dropped the ball one day. So without you, Olumide, each one teach one would not exist. Thank you very much for everything you do.
Everyone, right? Fantastic. And I guess we'll see you next one. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye. Take care.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Good night.
Well
God
done,
bless.
everyone.